Hello, and welcome back to another great week of the San Jose State Writing Center's online craft courses. I'm Maria Judnick, the coordinator of digital initiatives, and this week we're going to be examining the wonderful world of quotations, paraphrases, summaries, as well as the difference between analysis and synthesis. First, let's look at direct quotations. Direct quotations are used when you don't want to change the wording of another writer's work. They can also be integrated when the author is directly referencing a research finding or definition from another work. Think of a quotation as a rare and precious jewel. You don't want to overuse them, but you also want to make sure everyone is aware of their existence, so you'll need to explain your quotes. Additionally, it's important that this form of reference is properly cited based on the style you're being tasked to write with. Next, let's look at paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is another technique used to reference a source. Unlike direct quotations, paraphrases allow the reader to reword the quotation to better fit the paper's purpose. This strategy can be especially helpful when you're trying to find a support for a claim and the source you found supports your claim but doesn't particularly focus on it. Remember that you still must cite the work you paraphrase, even if you're not directly quoting it, because the intellectual property still belongs to the original author. Next, let's focus on summaries. Similar to paraphrasing, most papers will rely on summary at some point. From the University of Kansas Writing Center, we learn, quote, "A summary covers the main points of the writer's argument in your own words. Summaries are generally much shorter than the original source, since they do not contain any specific examples or pieces of evidence. The goal of a summary is to give the reader a clear idea of what the source is arguing without going into any specifics about what they're using to argue their point." End quote. So, what's the difference between a summary and a paraphrase? A paraphrase involves restating someone else's ideas in your own language at roughly the same level of detail, although they are usually a little bit shorter. Summaries offer a much broader view of the source, while the paraphrase still looks at some of those point-by-point translations. All right, now we're going to dive into analysis versus synthesis. There are two methods to consider when integrating sources, and those would be analysis and synthesis. Both of these methods will require you to use citations. However, they're utilized so you're not just inserting someone else's ideas without providing any of your own commentary or thought. What's the difference? Analysis takes the text apart and examines the rhetorical and stylistic choices the author is making to support their findings or arguments. Synthesis, on the other hand, incorporates a text by connecting it to similar readings or to a larger context. This method also allows the author to bring an outside text closer to their main argument or perspective. We hope that these explanations have helped you to understand a little bit more about these crucial research writing strategies. Keep listening to our craft courses here at the San Jose State Writing Center.